Hey, it's A Helmet Collector here, and today's video we're going to take a look at the 2-pound death card of Michael Huber. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So going down right from the top there, in prayerful memory of our brave hero Michael Huber, a Gefreiter in a Pioneer Battalion, bearer of the Iron Cross 2nd Class, the Pioneer Assault Badge, and the Eastern Front Medal, who was born on July 18th, 1922 in Puck, and fell on September 15th, 1943 by Wypolsowo, Russia. Now, first things first here, we have a reference to the Pioneer Assault Badge. So Germany had multiple different versions of the Assault Badge, but the one that pioneers and support troops qualified for was the General Assault Badge. It looks something like this. This is a ground dug example from my collection. This was dug up at Halba along with several other medals, which site of a large battle in 1945. But yeah, you have the eagle and swastika, and then crossed bayonet and grenade. I really do need to actually pick up some better quality medals. I think it'd be kind of neat to be able to show them on camera while we're talking about the awards and things. But yeah, so I'm assuming that's the medal this is referring to. Now, I was actually able to find Michael's casualty record. I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen. He was a member of the 1st Company of Pioneer Battalion 330, which was part of the 330th Infantry Division. And he was killed by shrapnel to the chest at Wypolsowo, as his card says there. Now, one of the interesting things about the 330th, because we have talked about them once before, I believe, on the channel, 330th was one of 4 Valkyrie divisions that were formed in the winter of 1941. And the point of the Valkyrie divisions, they were essentially supposed to be like the first responders to like an airborne invasion, either in Germany itself or in the occupied territories. However, as the Eastern Front situation deteriorated, they were switched over to a firefighter kind of role, where basically any time that the enemy was threatening to breach a line or was actually breaching a line, they were the kind of division that was thrown in to kind of plug the gap and restabilize the situation. And this is something you'll notice as we get further into the war, 43, 44, 45, is basically any formation that isn't already on the front is probably going to be called upon to act as a firefighter at some point. A lot of these Sicherungs Division or Security Division cards that I've talked about are in a similar situation where these are rear line troops that are then being thrown up to the front to try and slow down the Soviets as much as they possibly can. Now, looking for the village of Wypolsowo, I feel like I pronounced that like 4 different ways already. I apologize. There's a lot of them in Eastern Europe. There's like a whole list on Wikipedia of like 30 plus different ones. I looked through a few different map programs trying to figure out where this was. And the 330th, according to what I was able to find online, they were fighting around Orscha, Belarus at the time, in September of 1943. However, Michael's actually buried in Smolensk Oblast in Russia, specifically at the Dukovshchina military cemetery. And there happens to be a village, I'm going to put it on screen here, called Wypolsowo, which is 21 kilometers away from where he's buried. And interestingly, as we see, there's like a highway here that runs directly toward Orscha that this village is right next to. And we have Smolensk in between. Now, what's interesting here is Smolensk was liberated September 25th, which lines up perfectly with Michael's date of death and the unit still being in Orscha in September. So what I'm thinking happened is the 330th was fighting on that highway there east of Smolensk. They were taking casualties, obviously, in the case of Michael and who knows how many others. And we're just getting rolled along this highway here by the Soviets, pulling through Smolensk and then eventually ending up in Orscha before the end of the month. Now, interestingly, the division apparently took so many casualties it would actually be disbanded in November. So shortly after Michael's death, the division actually ceases to exist. It's reformed into a divisional group, which is another thing that we see fairly often on the Eastern Front, where a unit is so badly mauled it can no longer function as a full-size unit. So they end up just creating like an ad hoc group out of them, or sometimes out of multiple divisions. So that seems to be what happened to the 330th at that point. Now, another kind of weird thing is, I like talking about other cards from these divisions that I have in my collection that I've researched. I have one other card for a soldier from the 330th, which is this one here for Johan Huber. You might notice that his last name, of course, is the same as Michael's. However, I don't think there's any relation between the two. Huber is a fairly common last name in Germany, at least at the time. I have no idea if it still is today. And I checked their hometowns. They're like nowhere near each other. So possibly they're related in some way, but I don't have any information indicating that's the case. So Johann was an Oberreiter in the Motor Reconnaissance Squadron of Infantry Regiment 554 and would be killed by a throat shot at Koslovo on April 15th, 1942. Moving to the bottom of the card here. Your will, Lord, be done, however it may be. Your will, Lord, be done, even if I don't understand it. Your will, Lord, be done, no matter how painful it is. And moving to the back of the card here. Mary, sorrowful one, mother of Christians, pray for us. So yeah, overall, really interesting card. This was a really fun one to research. It seemed like every time that I thought I was wrapping up research, I was finding more stuff. So I was able to provide a lot more information than even I'm normally able to do, which is always nice. So hope you guys all enjoy the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I will see you all again very soon.